Welcome to The Big Story. I'm Gretchen Ho.
I'm Pauline Berzosa.
And I'm Sean Yao.
Tonight's big stories. The annual traslasyon for the Jesus Nazareno is way past the 15th hour now. We give you the latest from the ground as the procession nears its endpoint.
And in the U.S., massive evacuations, power outages, and air quality alerts hit California as wildfires burn out of control there. And Los Angeles is hardest hit.
And back here in the Philippines, TV host and actor Vic Soto sues Daryl Yap for cyber libel over the filmmaker's latest project. We bring you details of this complaint later on as we speak to Soto's lawyer, attorney Buko de la Cruz.
Our top story for tonight is, of course, the Jesus Nazareno's andas or carriage still being at the Bilibid Viejo Street. It isn't done yet, that's correct. It's already almost 16 hours since this year's traslasyon started.
The andas now features a design that cannot be easily jumped on, but this did not deter devotees from doing what they have been used to.
Some of them even got into a fight with authorities, blocking them from getting close to the Nazareno. Tensions erupted on Ayala Bridge earlier this morning when policemen barred devotees as the andas approached. But the cops proved to be no match to the throngs of devotees pushing to get to the bridge. Some of the officers were wounded, but devotees denied that they hit the police in any way.
Hindi kami nananakit, sir. Sumabay lang po kami sa Agos, hindi po kami nananakit.
At around noontime, as the andas approached Quezon Boulevard, it hit a post along the way and had to stop. Devotees took advantage of the situation and climbed up the andas.
And at San Sebastian Church, there was a reported stampede, or more accurately, crowd crush. 5 devotees had to be brought to the Red Cross Field Hospital for treatment. As the traslasyon progressed, many also fainted. As of 6 p.m., the Philippine Red Cross says it had to respond to at least 467 medical emergencies during the traslasyon.
But there were also unexpected happy events that coincided with the traslasyon. One is a wedding proposal that happened under Quezon Bridge as the parade closed in on them. In Arlegui Street, devotees even had a dance party. There were also mascots and even fire eaters.
And now let's get the latest over at the Minor Basilica and National Shrine of Jesus Nazareno in Quiapo. News 5 correspondent Faith Del Mundo is there reporting to us live. Hi Faith, kita na ba dyan o mula dyan ang andas at bakit naging mas mabagal ang usad ng traslasyon ngayong taon?
Sean, Gretchen, and Pauline, no? Sa mga oras na ito, wala pa rin yung andas. Hindi pa rin natin natatanaw. Hindi pa nga rin natin naririnig yung mga viva na sigawan ngayon. No? Sa mga oras na ito, ayon nga sa PNP, ang andas ay kasalukuyang tinatahak ang Bilibid Viejo patungong Gonzalo Puyat. Kung tutuusin, mas mabagal ito kumpara nung nakarang taon. 2024, pasado 7:44 ng gabi, last year, nakapasok na ang andas dito sa Quiapo Church. Pero ngayon ay pasado alas 8 ay wala pa nga rin dito yung andas. At tama ka nga, no, 2 lubid yung napatid dito dun sa andas, no, na kanina nga ay yung sa San Sebastian, kaninang hapon, at kanina sa may Finance Road, yung patungo nga siyang sa Ayala Boulevard. Kaya ang nangyayari ngayon, tinutulak na lamang yung andas at wala na yung lubid. Sa ngayon nga ay libo-libo pa rin ang mga deboto ang nananatili. Nagpupunta dito at nag-a-attend nga ng hourly mass dito sa Quiapo Church. At kung makikita nyo nga, no, maririnig nyo rin patuloy yung hourly mass sa Quiapo Church. Nagsimula yan at 3 p.m. kahapon at expected matapos yan 11 p.m. ngayong gabi. Yung Fiesta Mass ay special religious services o mass celebrated in honor yan sa patron saint tuwing local fiesta. Kapansin-pansin naman na mas maraming PNP personnel kasi ang sayon kay DD District Director Ibay, ang sabi niya, dun sa mga area na nandun yung mga andas o dadahakin yung mga andas, yung mga personnel ng PNP ay pumupunta dito. So kung makikita nyo, ang simula niyan dito sa Villalobos sa Palangka, yung papasok papunta dun sa may Quiapo Church. So pagkapasok nila dun sa may Quiapo Church, isa lamang yung kanilang labasan dito sa may Quezon Boulevard. So in a way, mas controlled yung crowd ngayon dito sa Quiapo Church.
Alright, maraming salamat para sa update na yan mula sa Minor, Basilica at National Shrine ng Jesus Nazareno. That was News 5 correspondent Faith Del Mundo.
Okay, let's move on over now to Los Angeles in the United States, where 5 were killed and more than 100,000 had to be evacuated as wildfires raged on. This as the LA County Fire Department confirms the flames have reached the Hollywood Hills. At the moment, there are already a total of 6 fires in the area, 4 of which were 0% contained. Among the areas affected is the Pacific Palisades, famous for homes of celebrities like Mandy Moore, Paris Hilton, Adam Brody, and Leighton Meester, Billy Crystal, as well as some other Filipinos around the area.
Well, with us now is Emmanuel Munda, our kababayan in California who personally experienced the wildfires. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on The Big Story tonight. First question, I guess, is how are you? How is your home?
Our home, so far so good. We're about 3 blocks away from the evacuation zone, about 3 miles away from the actual fire itself. So we're crossing our fingers and praying that the wind does not shift. We're actually in a hotel 10 miles away from our home right now, just in case we need to go back, get something, or help out the rest of our family evacuating.
Okay, help us understand the cause of the fire. Is it wildfires that we're dealing with here? How difficult is it for authorities to take control of the situation, and how bad has it gotten already at this point?
Well, it's gotten really bad. I mean, yesterday was because we were having about 100-mile-per-hour winds that we've never really had here in Los Angeles, and the sparks that were probably flying from down power lines, creating the fires and just having it spread so widely. The Palisades fire started sort of in very hard terrain to get to in the first place, and then the winds just spread it out. The Eaton fire, which is the one closest to us, was also in sort of the mountainous area and burnt down to the rest of Pasadena and then towards our area here in La Crescenta. It's definitely been tough. We could be angry, we could be sad, we could be terrified. Right now, I think most of our mentality is just coping with the loss from yesterday. A lot of my friends lost their homes, praying that doesn't happen to us, and just really seeing what the next steps are. We're still sort of under red flag warning, where we might have gusts of wind again that would create more fires. I mean, like you said, we have 6 fires going on right now, and the 2 major ones are still not contained, but we're already seeing the aftermath.
Okay, Emmanuel, give us a sense of how the county is handling this. Is it a per county handling? How does it work there? And what is the LA County Fire Department's advice to people in the area? Because as you said, the winds might shift at any time. And does the Weather Bureau also kind of report to you guys or give you guys updates or advice on which direction the wind might turn?
What's great about LA is we do have a very strong infrastructure in alerting and alarming. We have a reverse 911 that would buzz and really make loud noises on our phones to tell us to get out or to tell us, what stage we're in. We have the ready, set, go stages where if we do have the high wind warnings, we have to be ready to evacuate. And then we have set, which is the warning stage where we should be packing up and getting our cars ready to go, and then the go. And they've been really great about giving us the warnings. And, we have daily press, actually every few hours we have a press conference just keeping us posted on what's happening around the county. And they've been really good. And we've been lucky to have President Biden here in Southern California with us when this happened, because it allowed sort of a quick response from the federal as well, too, to get things approved, like having the helicopters fly earlier than they should because it was still windy. But that's been extremely helpful. But we're still under duress. We're still you can still smell the smoke in the air. Let's just say that.
Well, Emmanuel, of course, our hearts go out to all the victims. We can only imagine how tough this is for everyone out there. They did tout this as the most destructive fire to ever hit Los Angeles and California. I mean, do you know what's going on in evacuation centers? Are there even enough places for people to run to now that they've lost their homes?
I was going to add and ask you actually. You mentioned some of your friends' houses were affected. Where are they right now? Are there evacuation centers there? We know here in the Philippines that's where people run to.
Yeah, we do have evacuation centers, and unfortunately for this fire, some of the evacuation centers have to evacuate as well too and move on to other areas. For example, in Pasadena, there's certain areas there's an evacuation center that's now gone, so they have to move to another evacuation center. But a lot of the times, there's we're very well connected here in LA where we can reach out to friends, and a lot of people are just opening their homes to evacuees who've either had to leave their home or have lost their home as well too. And it's been tough, but you can see the resilience in people, and you can see sort of the love that we have for our cities and our fellow kababayans, or even our friends who open our doors. And when people heard that we were evacuating, they were already texting us and sending us messages, hey, you can come to our place and go to San Diego and just get away from LA. But we chose to remain close in case we can go back a lot sooner. Right now, our house has no power, like tens of thousands of people here in Los Angeles, and we can't function when we can't have our communication, because that's our lifeline.
Emmanuel, talk to us about the weather. How hot is it there? I believe the wildfire season is from July to November or December, but it's already January. I mean, how often does this happen, and how prepared was Los Angeles for wildfires? I know it's not unusual to have that, but were they prepared for this scale?
Right. Well, I mean, it's unusual in the way that we barely had any rain this past year, and so everything was pretty much in a tinderbox stage. That it just takes a little spark, and we've had that several times during last year as well too. As far as preparedness, they were prepared for one or two fires, not six at the same time, and not two big major ones that are in residential areas. Uh, for example, the Eaton Canyon fire, a lot of the homes that were burnt down were not even close to the mountains. They were miles away from the fire zones that people have. And so they were prepared for anything in the fire zones. But once it went down, there's really nothing you can do. You can be as prepared as possible, but you can't really, help Mother Nature from doing what it wants to do.
Well, we certainly are happy that you are safe and your family as well. We do hope that you get back to your home as soon as possible, and we will keep updated with this. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on The Big Story. That's Emmanuel Munda from California.
All right, we're pausing for a quick break, but up next, survey says 41% of Filipinos support moves to remove Vice President Sara Duterte from office. But why the holdup in impeachment complaints against her? We ask Congresswoman Franz Castro when The Big Story returns. Stay with us.
also watching the big story here on One News. 4 in 10 Filipinos support the impeachment complaints against Vice President Sara Duterte. Now, that's according to a recent social weather station survey commissioned by advisory and consultancy group Stratbase. Among 2,160 respondents, 41% said they support the ouster moves against Duterte, while 35% are opposed to it. The rest are either undecided or, quote, don't know much about the issue. The SWS poll was conducted between December 12 and 18 of 2024 and has a margin of error of ±2 percentage points. Support for the VP's removal from office via Congress vote was highest in Luzon, while opposition was strongest in the Duterte bailiwick of Mindanao. The top reason respondents cited for wanting Sara impeached is her unexplained spending of confidential funds. So far, there are 3 impeachment complaints filed against Duterte, all still awaiting consolidation or endorsement to the House Rules and Justice Committees. The endorser of the second impeachment complaint against VP Sara now joins us. Thank you so much for being with us again on the big story tonight. We have Congresswoman Franz Castro of ACT Teachers Party List. Magandang gabi.
Magandang gabi. Thank you so much, ladies, for inviting me again.
Okay, Congresswoman, in our sister program StoryCon, sinabi po ni Sec Gen Velasco that lawmakers have asked him for more time to determine what to do with the impeachment complaints. Medyo matagal-tagal na po, nakatatlo na, inaantay pa raw yung pang-apat. Your reaction to all of this, it seems that it's taking quite some time. We do know napakaliit lang po ng window for this to happen.
Yes, it's been a month na, no, Gretchen, if you are going to count the number of days as far as, for example, in our impeachment complaint. But I think the Congress, it's high time that the Congress should act on the impeachment complaints as soon as possible. Now that more Filipinos are thinking or are supporting the impeachment complaints. Kasi kung hindi mangyayari ito, hindi ma-actionan agad ito, no? Mawawala yung tiwala ng mamamayan sa Congress, which is mandated to act on it, no? And then yung mga investigation in the Committee on Good Government and Accountability, the documents or the unearthed documents and testimonies would be put into waste.
Okay. Kong Castro, konting clarification sang no. Before tayo nag-Christmas break, ang sabi niyo po busy po kayo nagkakalap ng mga signatures for that 1/3 no ng Congress para ma-shortcut or ma-fast track itong impeachment. Pero bali-balita rin na yesterday you guys had a meeting along with by you guys, I mean the Makabayan Bloc had a meeting with the filers of these so far three impeachment complaints. Can you share with us po ano po yung napag-usapan kasi according din po kay Sec Gen Velasco ay hindi pa raw niya alam kung ano po yung update from you guys.
Well, we took the initiative, no, kami sa Makabayan as second endorsers ng second complaint. We took the initiative dahil medyo matagal na nga na nandoon sa Secretary General yung 3 impeachment complaints. So we took the initiative to call on other complainants, no, to think of ways on how to push this through. Kasi kung may inaantay pa na 4th complainant, so be it. So antayin pero siguro dapat ay action na rin. So ano ba yung mga pinag-usapan namin doon? So first, of course, ano ba yung update doon sa kanilang mga complaint? Baka meron na rin, no, na meron nakagather na rin ng mga signature, yung other complaints, impeachment complaints. And then number 2, like usap-usap kami for a common action. So meron kaming gagawing mga petition signing to encourage our members, the organization's members for the support for the impeachment. Parang merong signature campaign na gagawin. And then there would be a series of mobilization starting on January 15 up to January 31. So yun yung pinag-usapan namin kahapon. And then of course yung magbi-meeting pa, no, for a press con probably on January 17.
Okay. Quick follow-up lang ha. Kasi ang isa pang binabanggit no ni Sec Jen Velasco is may nakiusap daw sa kanya isang grupo or at least one congressman, so colleague niyo po, pero ayaw niya po i-disclose kung sino. Ito po yung may kinalaman sa fourth supposedly incoming impeachment complaint. Do you have any idea kung sino po ito? Are you aware that there is a fourth complaint? And kasi parang po lumalabas po, gusto niya muna hantayin yung fourth bago para matignan kung makakonsolidate, gano'n. Yun po yung explanation niya earlier today.
I think the Secretary General is a reliable source, no? So on our part naman, we haven't heard from our other colleagues would endorse the fourth complaint. So sa amin naman, that would be a welcome that would be welcome to us kung meron pang fourth complaint dahil that goes to show na more and more mga kababayan natin yung talagang talagang nag gustong mag-file ng ng impeachment complaint at gustong panagutin ang Vice President.
Well, Kong Castro, I hope you could help us shed more light on the consolidation process. Kasi earlier, sinabi rin po ni Sec Jen Velasco na hindi daw po pala siya ang magko-consolidate daw. It's up to the filers to come together at mag-usap-usap daw na kung i-consolidate, let's say, yung the first 3 impeachment complaints. So, tama po ba yun, Kong? And with that, do you have any plans of consolidating all those complaints?
Well, yesterday we just consolidated our effort na lang, yung mga complainants. But the consolidation of the complaints will be the duty of the Committee on Justice. So after the SecGen endorsed the complaints to the speaker, so yung speaker naman will refer the complaints to the Committee on Justice, and it is the Committee on Justice that would consolidate and to come up with one complaint kasi tatlo na yan kung may 4 pa, di ba? So pag-iisahin yan and titignan yung mga mabibigat na basis for impeachment.
When you are in
At yun ay consolidate. So the consolidation will happen in the Committee on Justice.
Okay, you are in need of about 106 signatures. How many have you gathered as of today? And ano po ang tono ngayon ng mga congressman? Kasi medyo malapit na po talaga ang eleksyon. And also, we do remember that the president kind of had a lukewarm tone on the impeachment complaints. So, sa inyong pakikinig, sa inyong mga kasama, what is the common sentiment now? At ilang signature na po?
There are pledges of signature, especially from our bloc, the minority bloc. But alam naman natin dito sa House of Representatives, so our colleagues will just act concretely upon the advice of their parties. So kaya kami nga natuwa nga sa fourth complaint na meron ng mga majority na mag-endorse nito. That means to say na parang meron ng go signal ang majority. So as of now pa, pledges pa lang din. And the sentiment naman ng mga kasama namin dito sa Kongreso is positive for impeachment.
Just to follow up on Gretchen's question, tuloy pa rin po ba yung pag-gather ninyo ng pledges kung hindi man actual signatures? Are you still continuing lobbying amongst your colleagues? Or have you abandoned the shortcut method, so to speak?
Well, we are still talking with some colleagues about their position. In fact, ako nga kinakausap nga namin yung mga bloc dito sa House of Representatives and their position. Continuous pa rin naman yung aming pakikipag-usap sa aming mga colleagues. Kaya nga nasabi namin na kung talagang may go signal at pipirma na sila, ay makukuha talaga natin yung appropriate or desired amount of signature or numbers of signature among our colleagues. Yung 106, madaling makuha yan kapag meron ng go signal yung kanilang mga parties.
Speaking of Go Signal, nakausap niyo na po ba si House Speaker Martin Romualdez about this? Babalikan ko rin again yung earlier interview no, ni Secretary General Velasco with Storycon or sister program. Sabi niya hindi daw, syempre naka-break, so hindi naman daw pumapasok po si Speaker, so hindi pa daw niya nakakausap. What about you guys? Have you guys messaged man lang na have you heard anything?
Wala. So we haven't talked anything about the impeachment. Well, actually, di naman kami nagkipag-usap kay Speaker so about the impeachment. So yung mga discussion lang ay among our colleagues. So wala kaming personal na talk with the Speaker.
Okay, thank you so much for updating us, and we will get back to you for what's going to happen. It's a very, very crucial time period. But for now, thank you for joining us on The Big Story. ACT Teachers Party List Representative, Congresswoman Franz Castro.
Now, up next, we'll be speaking with Attorney Enrique de la Cruz, Vic Soto's legal counsel, on the cyber libel complaint the actor has filed against film producer Daryl Yap. Catch that when we return. Keep it here on One News.
Welcome back. You're still with us on The Big Story here on One News.
Actor and TV host Vic Soto has filed a cyber libel complaint against film director Daryl Yap over the movie The Rape of Pepsi Paloma. Soto filed the complaint before the Muntinlupa City Prosecutor's Office following the social media posts of Yap on the film, which is set to be released in cinemas this February. In one of the film's trailers, Soto's name was allegedly mentioned in a scene from the movie. The movie tackles the rape case of the late actress Pepsi Paloma, which Soto and fellow actors Joey De Leon and Richie the Horsey were once linked to. The case was eventually dropped. And back on the big story tonight to discuss this further is attorney Enrique Buco de la Cruz, who is the legal counsel on this case. Attorney Buco, good evening and thanks for your time.
Good evening, ladies, and thanks for having me.
Okay, so just to make it clear, I think you've made it pretty clear today, but just to double check, this is only on the film's trailer, right? So having said that, are we still going to look at more lawsuits next month when the movie premieres?
Hopefully, we are able to prevent the showing of the movie. That's one of our prayers, our request for the court. When we filed the petition for issuance of a writ of habeas data, it is our position that the showing of that movie violates the right to privacy of our client.
Help us understand. The court has already granted writ of habeas data. What does that mean?
Yes, the writ of habeas data is a preliminary step. It's like similar to the issuance of a temporary restraining order. The court enumerates certain acts which are covered by the writ as prayed for by the plaintiff. So we are the plaintiff here, and the court said as prayed for. So the prayer in our complaint are granted with the issuance of the writ, but that's only temporary because the court scheduled the hearing on January 15, and evidence will now be presented by both sides to discuss the merits of the petition. If the court is convinced that the petition is meritorious, the court may grant the prayer, which is to make the writ permanent. In that case, the movie cannot be shown.
Okay, how many prayers are there though? Sorry, Gretch, but
There are
how many
basically four
Okay.
major prayers.
Okay, so one is to stop showing the movie, to prevent it from being
Yes, to suppress the film, the teaser, any other material which includes the sensitive personal information of the petitioner, from dissemination without his consent. That's one of the prayers. Another prayer is to take down or remove those which are already posted. Another prayer is to prevent the reposting, resharing of the teaser video or any other material. And finally, we also prayed and asked the court to direct Mr. Daryl Yap to produce and submit to us all personal information or sensitive personal information involving our client that he was able to collect, process, and share to others without our client's consent.
Okay, so for now, the posts have to be taken down. Am I correct?
Yes, as of now, the writ was issued and he is given 5 days to report to the court what he did after receiving the writ. So if he understands what a writ of habeas data is, he must comply in the meantime and pending the hearing scheduled on January 15.
Okay, you filed 19 counts of cyber libel. And actually, unang-una, ang reaksyon ng mga tao, mga netizen, hala, binanggit yung pangalan ni Vic Soto. But the others naman are saying that this is art. It could have been, baka sa movie, panaginip, part ng panaginip, yung trailer, pwedeng sabihin ng direktor, hindi naman yung totoo, kung guilty ka, ikaw na yun. Pero, I mean, ano yung basihan ng inyong complaint ng cyber libel?
Ang basihan ng reklamo ay hindi yung pelikula, kung hindi yung teaser na ipinalabas niya, kung saan tahasang binanggit ang pangalan ng aming kliyente bilang isang rapist. May kalayaan tayong gumawa ng pelikula or magpahayag, pero wala tayong kalayaang mang-libel o manirang puri. Ang libel ay krimen pa rin hanggang sa ngayon sa ating batas. Ibig sabihin, bawal ito at may parusang kulong. Kaya ang posisyon po namin ay hindi ito protected speech, hindi ito free speech dahil ito ay libelous. Dahil diretsong pinangalanan po yung aming kliyente sa teaser video.
Well, attorney, terms like freedom of expression or creative license, usually ginagamit kasi yan ng mga filmmakers, right, when creating films. So in this case, that's not a legal or legal defense para kay Daryl Yap. And sinabi po niya actually in a statement na wag daw husgahan yung trailer at panoorin daw ng yung film sa kabuuan bago daw mag-judge. Does that change anything for the side of bossing Vic Soto?
It doesn't change a thing because good intentions or the intent or the good faith of the author of a libelous post, no, is irrelevant in cyber libel. Hindi mahalaga ang intensyon ng may akda. Ang mahalaga ay kung ano ang epekto ng kanyang inilathala o inilabas sa reputasyon ng biktima. No? Sa kasong ito, si Mr. Vic Soto. Whatever good intentions he might have will just form part of his defense. Pero ang basihan po o sukatan kung nagkaroon ng libel ay kung ano ang kanyang inihayag sa ngayon.
What if he says that, this is a long been talked about, again, legend, Filipino legend, na nilabas lang nila, isinapelikula, inacting, ito ay isang play, hindi necessarily totoo. Could that be a defense?
Minsan may ganun ilalagyan nila, ifa-flash nila, loosely based on real events, ganyan. It doesn't make it fact. So, I know we're just talking about the trailer, but looking ahead, if the movie comes out, then it's probably got way more time and to show a lot more of the narrative.
I'm sure the director thought about this before he posted that trailer.
Dapat pinag-isipan, no? Kasi lumalabas na parang hindi pinag-isipan dahil may mga pamamaraan kung paano maiiwasan ang libel laws, no? Dahil hindi naman ito bago, no? Gaya nga ng sabi ninyo, bahagi na ito ng ating industriya sa paggawa ng pelikula. Pero may mga pamamaraan there are ways by which you can protect the subject, no, without committing libel. In this case, hindi pinag-isipan, no? Direktahang pinangalanan yung aming kliyente bilang isang rapist at pinili niya itong ikalat, no? Ang layunin talaga, ang intention ay maka-generate ng public awareness, maka-generate ng sensationalism para ibenta ang kanyang pelikula. At wala na siyang pakialam kung ito'y makakasakit ng damdamin, makasira ng reputasyon, at sa pagkakataong ito, malagay sa panganib, no, ang buhay ng pamilya ng aming kliyente.
Per attorney, just to be clear, during the filmmaking process, never po ba kinonsult or na-notify si Mr. Vic Soto? And kailangan po ba yon? Kailangan ba i-notify yung mga personalities when creating a film?
Tama po, wala pong notice, wala pong consent, wala pong consultation na nangyari. Kailangan po iyon para ipakita na may magandang layunin yung gumagawa ng pelikula. Sapagkat alam naman niya na ito'y na-dismiss, alam niyang iniatras, hindi niya yun isinama sa kanyang teaser. Ibig pong sabihin, he knowingly published it, no? Despite the fact that he knew for a fact that it was dismissed, it has been withdrawn. Dahil tinanggal niya iyon, iniwan niya lamang yung kontrobersyal na bahagi na nagsasabing rapist umano yung aming kliyente. Nakikita yung kanyang malisya. Actual malice is shown.
Attorney, curious lang ako, no? Si Direk Daryl Yap lang ba ang may pananagutan dito? Paano naman yung mga aktor na nandoon sa eksena, yung mga tumanggap ng pelikula, knowing that, this is a very sensitive issue, sila ba ay hindi nyo rin balak kasuhan?
Sa ilalim ng batas, ang liable for libel ay yung author, may akda, and anyone who causes the publication thereof. Sino mang nagkalat nito. No? At kinausap namin ang aming kliyente at ang sabi niya, ang gusto niyang papanagutin ay yung may likha at yung nagkalat na si Mr. Daryl Yap at ang kanyang Vincentiments na page, no, at kumpanya. Yung mga artista ay naiintindihan daw niya ang kanilang pinanggagalingan, sabi ng aming kliyente.
What about yung mga nag-repost and nag-reshare so far? Kasi part nga nung prayer nyo, i-stop yung reposting and resharing of the teaser. Are you also planning to at least contact those people who have reshared, ask them to take down the post?
Doon sa criminal case, hindi pa namin sila kinakasuhan. Pero doon sa writ of habeas data, covered sila ng utos ng hukuman. No? Dahil nakalagay po doon Mr. Daryl Yap and any other person acting for and on their behalf. No? Kung hindi susunod at patuloy pa rin may magkakalat, maaari pong hilingin namin sa korte na ma-cite sila in contempt.
Wait, pa-clarify lang, Attorney Buko, what if kunwari na-share ko siya, tapos hindi ko naman napanood sa news na may kaso pala, may na-grant pala yung writ of habeas data and dapat ko siyang tanggalin. Pwede niyo ba akong habulin in that case?
Well, technically po pwede kung ito'y dadali namin sa korte, no? Pero hindi automatic. Kailangan pa rin pong ipaalam sa korte at hingin ang utos ng korte upang kayo ay sumunod.
Well, attorney, sa criminal complaint po, Mr. Soto is asking for a total of 35 million pesos in damages, 20 million doon ay for moral damages. Can you just elaborate more on how this whole controversy, this trailer has affected Mr. Soto and his family?
Actually, there's no amount of money that can quantify the wounded feelings and the tarnished reputation that our client suffered. No? In fact, when we asked him how much money should we ask for, he doesn't want to put a figure. Sabi niya, hindi kayang bayaran ng pera yung pangambang dinulot nito sa aking pamilya, no? Sa panganib na idinulot nito sa kanyang minor de edad na anak, no? Na ngayon ay subjected to bullying, may mga rape threats ang kanyang asawa. Sabi niya walang perang kayang tumumbas, no? Pero naglagay lang kami ng figures para ma-quantify lamang yung halaga, no? So moral damages for the wounded feelings and tarnished reputation, and exemplary damages na 15 million para hindi tularan ng iba. So yun lang po yung purpose ng paghingi ng moral damages and exemplary damages. As of now, ang sinasabi ng aming kliyente, sa tagal na niya sa industriya, ngayon lamang siya nakaranas ng ganitong panglalait, ang ridicule, no? Galing sa tao, sa iba't ibang tao, at maraming naniniwala doon sa pinost ni Mr. Daryl Yap na naglagay sa panganib sa kanyang pamilya.
Attorney Bucos, nag-post si Daryl, no? Pepsi goes back to court. Ano sa tingin nyo ang kanyang layunin? Anong inaasahan po ninyo from their side, knowing that he is also with the mother and the brother of the late Pepsi Paloma?
Nais ko kasing linawin, no, na wala namang kasong nakafile ngayon na rape. So it's not true that Pepsi goes back to court. There is no rape case filed or will be filed. It has long been dismissed, no, 40 years ago. It is Daryl Yap who is going to court to be held accountable for his irresponsible posting.
One last clarification, Attorney Buko, on your one prayer is to suppress the showing of this film. But as we know na next month na dapat, February, it's going to theaters already. Sa usad po ng ating legal system, how does that work? Do you expect na in time lalabas yung restraining order or whatever it is?
We trust the system. No? In fact, we filed the petition for writ of habeas data, knowing that the rules provide relief to our client. And immediately the court granted the issuance of the writ of habeas data. And we are confident that we will be able to convince the court in the hearing to be held on January 15 to make the writ permanent. No? Of course, evidence will still be presented, witnesses will be presented. Siguro naman po ay maiintindihan ng korte yung urgency. No? And besides, hindi lang naman po itong kasong ito ang magiging dahilan para hindi maipalabas yan. Tandaan po natin na ang lahat ng pelikula o anumang palabas sa Pilipinas ay kailangan dumaan sa MTRCB. Knowing that there is a case filed against this movie, mukhang baka po mahirapan sila makakuha ng tamang klasifikasyon para po ito ay mapanood ng tao.
Attorney, si Lala Soto po yung head ng MTRCB, di kaya magkakulay pa yun or malagay din siya sa isang parang kumbaga conflict of interest type of situation?
Siguro po, they will be responsible enough to do their jobs objectively. And we just trust the system will work as it is intended by the law and our government.
Attorney, what does the writ of habeas data cover? Is it just the Philippine cinemas and theaters? Paano naman po yung mga streaming sites? How do you plan to stop them from airing the film?
The writ of habeas data directs respondent, Mr. Daryl Yap, and all persons acting for and on his behalf. So kahit anong platform ang gamitin niya, covered kasi siya yung pinagbabawalan o sino mang taong kausap niya o pinakikilos niya o ginagamit niya. So it encompasses all other platforms that he might use or talk to.
Sabi niyo po ay may idea po kayo who is behind this. Can you give us some clues as to is this because of politics? Is this because of past hurts that have come to fore? Ano po kaya ang sino po kaya ang behind this?
We discussed this with our client, and our client decided to just focus on the facts that we have right now and not entertain all of these issues about politics. Sa ngayon, ang facts lang na nakikita namin ay si Mr. Darilla po ang nag-create at nag-spread o nag-cause ng publication nitong libelous posts. So we filed a case against him and all persons acting for and on his behalf.
Okay, maraming salamat for explaining, for indulging us and our questions, and making us a little bit more savvy in terms of the law. Attorney Enrique Buco de la Cruz, legal counsel for Vic Soto. Thank you so much for your time and your insights tonight. Okay, balik na tayo sa Nazareno.
Looks like we have the procession going. It is the Andas is now at JP de Guzman Street, going to Hidalgo Street.
So it's notably longer, no, compared to last year. The whole traslasyon just lasted for 15 hours.
Ngayon nasa 16, more than 16 hours na tayo.
Almost 17, I think. Pero malapit na siya, nasa Quiapo na siya, sa may Hidalgo na rin siya. So that's very near the Quiapo Church. I was just wondering, just to tie everything together, last night we had our security expert Martin Aguda here. He sort of predicted yung gulo sa Ayala Bridge. I wonder if that scuffle with the police and the crowd, the devotees, caused some delays.
Tama ka, yun ngayon nababanggit na natin kagabi, mukhang nagkagulo doon kasi yung police hinaharangan yung mga deboto at yung sila pilit na tumatakbo papunta doon sa bridge para salubungin yung Andas.
It wasn't just in Ayala Bridge. I believe there was also a stampede, diba? We reported earlier in San Sebastian Church. Crowd crush. So it looks like marami rin daw nagpasaway this year, yung bawal na nga sumampa sa Andas, but they still kept trying to climb up.
But that's what we were saying, di ba? Siyempre, kung deboto ka, yun talaga yung goal mo at susubukan mo rin.
Mukhang medyo matagal-tagal pa kasi pagkatapos ng Hidalgo, pupunta pa Quezon Boulevard, pupuntang Palangka Street, Quezon Bridge, tapos Villalobos through Plaza Miranda. So looks like it's gonna take some time still. I mean, if it's still in Hidalgo. Ay, JP de Guzman rather.
Okay, so I guess hindi natin maabutan yung end of this
with that.
For sure. But for now, that's it for the big story tonight. May mga nakaabang na.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thanks for tuning in and have a good night. Stay tuned because coming up next is Play by Play with Andre Felix and Cheska Liton Calao.
You know what, since you're at the topic of the traslasyon, I was actually talking with Maui, David, who was there earlier. Tapos yun nga, nag-take off sila kanina ng 441 from Quirino Grandstand. Dimples was also there sa Quirino Grandstand. I think they're expecting, supposedly, shorter dapat this year the target. Parang 10 hours. Pero mukhang, sabi nyo nga, mukhang imposible yun.
Naputol kasi
Longer.
yung bid.
Oo, yes.
So tinutulak na lang daw siya
Oo,
instead of
tinulak
pulling
na
it
lang.
also.
Oo, correct. So baka 12 midnight, so let's see kung ilang
Pero
oras.
ito, hindi sasapaw sa airtime ninyo yung end ng traslasyon.
Ay, kayang-kaya ni Cheska yun, kaya sumapaw yun.
tayo.
Live annotate, Cheska, go!
Marathon.
Hanggang 9:30 lang tayo,
Ay,
di ba?
hanggang 9:30. Okay.
Tagalog.
Oh, thank you, Ate Gretch, Tito Sean, and Madam Pawi. Maraming salamat. We've got a couple of must-see matchups in the NBA today, plus Northport's Arvin Tolentino is joining us live via Zoom to talk about the Batang Pier statement win over Barangay Ginebra San Miguel last night in the PBA Commissioner's Cup.
And it is the end of an era for the Signal HD Spikers in the PVL as they part ways with not one but two of their stars.
Big losses, Check. Really big losses. Find out.